Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and today I'm gonna check out Mesa Boogie's dual rectifier Rectoverb 25, which is a 25-watt tube amp, and how it compares to Boogie's Mark V 25 and also to Peavey 5150 and BluGuitar's AMP1 Iridium. First, let's listen a song I wrote specifically for this video, where I switch between these two amps. I'm using the KHE amp switcher, but I have now it connected via MIDI to my pedal board, my G-Lab GSC3 switcher. So I'm switching back and forth with those amps, so you can hear the differences. I dialed in the best tones I could get for that particular song. So on the Mark V I'm gonna use the crunch channel boosted with bus ST1, and on the Rectoverb I'm gonna use the channel 2 in vintage mode and boosted with bus ST1. Okay, let's listen to the song and then discuss the differences a little bit more. Okay, you heard the song, and the differences were quite big, at least in my opinion. On my previous video I stated how much I liked this amp, and it really surprised me, because my experience has been limited before this only to rectifiers. Used on tours as, you know, rental backline if for some reason there weren't 800 or 5150 or any Marshall available. So then it was this, and I always felt that they were, you know, big sounding, nice and smooth, but I was always having a hard time to get it to really punchy, mean and nasty, because those are the qualities I'm looking for a guitar sound. You know, if my mom says that you have a nice guitar sound, then I have failed. It should be called completely opposite, like, you know, man. And I always had a hard time, and it hasn't changed. I tried to dial the best I could to this to be really punchy and in your face, but I mean, it wasn't actually as bad as I remembered. But what I have basically, I have presence full, bass almost full, mids at 10 o'clock, treble full, gain like 10 o'clock. And it was still like, I felt that it's a little bit too fluffy and nice and smooth. And those are probably qualities that many people like, because I mean, this is one of the most successful amplifiers in history, especially in rock and metal music, but not my cup of tea. I mean, it didn't sound bad in the mix, but then when the Mark V hit, you know, like, here's the qualities I'm looking for, that it, you know, oops, it punches you in the face, like, but that's just me, and we all have different personal preferences, and it's quite hard to argue with those, but these are just mine. This one is really good amps. Okay, let me show you the differences now without the mix. So now I'm having the channel to vintage mode. The settings I described. Like, man, it's yeah. And the signal chain, what I have is the same. Not right now. I have one of my signature ESPs. This one with EMG 8185, and the pedal board. I'm using SD1 now, and then KHE amp switcher to reactive load, Sandrock reactive load, where I have an IR which is a blend of my signature IR Valovirtuos from Jens Booger's Lean and Clean pack, 70% and 30%. It's Sound of God 2 from Jens Rhythm pack. Blend, it works really nice. It's the same cabinet was used to create those IRs, which is a Mesa Boogie, oversized Mesa with V30s mic with 3 microphones, SM57 and I can't remember the others, what was used. But anyway, it's just different blend, EQ'd a little bit differently. The Sound of God has a little bit more lows and highs. And my signature IR is a bit more like flatter. It's like general IR that usually works on everything. But for this stuff, Mesas, I actually found that the combination of my signature and the Sound of God worked better. It actually works really good with, you know, all my amps. I did a video, my previous video was about this, so if you want to check out more about this amp, please check out that link there and in the description. So let's focus on this. So the vintage channel to me was the best I could get out of this. Let's switch it to like that. But it's still like, I feel that like there's a mattress in front of a cab. Well, I mean, I'm monitoring myself with the Yamaha HS8 speakers, so it feels like there's a blanket in front of those. Even though I have the presence and treble, they are full. Now let's dial the middle. You can get a little bit more in your face sound by dialing the mids basically off, but then I feel it loses the body. So I mean, this is like really fine like this. It's nice, smooth sound, you know, it doesn't disturb anybody, you know, cool to play at home. But I done one studio session with Rectifier back in the day as a hired gun. I was hired to play some melodies and leads and maybe even some rhythms. It was a Finnish band. I went in there, just had my Les Paul. I think I had a SD1, wah-wah and EQ. And the only amp they had was Rectifier. And I remember we really had a hard time to get it to be like the way I want it and the way the producer wanted it. For some reason, I didn't bring my own amps, the 800s. So I think we did the same. Presence full, treble full, then SD on. And I think we had the EQ in the loop just to boost even more treble and presence that to make it, you know, cut through the mix, like be mean. Because I mean, that was a metal album, you know. I don't really want to have like a nice sound, guitar sound on an aggressive metal album. So that was that, and the same experience I'm having with this one. Yeah, it's 25 watt, but the character is the same than the Honeybud Recto I used. And same when I use live every now and then. Okay, then let's check out the modern channel. Modern mode. This is a little bit, it has a bit more of that, but I feel it's a little bit like compressed and really scoop, so not very, I don't feel like inspired. Again, hard time to make it cut through the mix. Let's try it without SD. That's that one, the crunch, my favorite mode on that one. I mean, it's not like this. I feel it's actually pretty good. It's like, yeah, totally fine. But then when I switch to this, it's like, oh yeah. Oh, and quickly, let's compare it to 5150. I need to keep the master quite low, so there's not much of that power tube thing, since this is a 120 watt amp, but you hear there's even though 5150 is like a American style sounding amp, it still has the presence and and I'm using the rhythm channel. Let's try out the lead channel, which is even more aggressive. Yeah. And then the BluGuitar AMP1, which is just fantastic amp. That's actually amp I use the most. It's there when I write, when I record, when we do pre-production for Syra. It's pretty much BluGuitar. So. That's like mean and nasty and, punchy. Okay, once more, let me go through all of this. First this one, then 5150, then BluGuitar AMP1 Iridium, and that's the classic sound. Kind of it's really hard to tell a difference from my 800s with that channel. It's just so good. Okay, so first this one. Yeah. Okay. So, conclusion. This is really smooth amplifier. And obviously, many people like this amp, or the rectifiers in general, because it's so popular. Not my cup of tea. Mark V, fantastic amp. It has that edge, that mean punch character, but it still has the Mesa character, which is generally a little bit smoother than on Marshalls. Like well, I'm using the AMP1, but I've done videos where I compare it to my old NR. It's pretty much the same. So that has that, and the 5150 is its own beast. It's really deep and present. Really love 5150, especially the original. So those are the differences between different types of amps. But I'm gonna try out Mesa Boogies more as soon as Music's, the great music company store here in Switzerland, which I've been working with a lot. Big thanks to them that they have borrowed me the gear. So right now they had these, but as soon as they have a little bit more, I'm gonna check it out because I really like the Mark V. But rectifiers, yeah, it's been probably 10 years since I last tried one, and I still don't like them. And hey, please remember, this is just my opinion. I always encourage when people ask me, what do I think about an amp, this and that, would it be good for me? And I'm like, I really can't answer what's good for you. I only can answer and do these videos what I like and why I like certain amps, what are the qualities I like and I dislike. And I always encourage, try out yourself. Because as you know, the majority of the sound is how you play, what you play. And these amplifiers amplify that. Obviously they bring their own tonality, like you heard. There were quite a big difference in the tone, but the core of the sound, the way I play, it's still the basics of the ground of the sound, so to say. And I know it's not always possible to try things out, but if you have found that you like the same gear than me, like for example, P. Thorne, fantastic guitar player. He's played with Chris Cornell, you name it. Has a great YouTube channel. I've been a subscriber many years, and I found that I really like the same stuff that P. Thorne likes. For example, Friedman BOD. When Pete did a video about that years ago, I went and bought that, and I thought about that exactly like him. I used that many years live. I still have two of those. It's a great pedal, and there's a couple of other pedals that I really liked. You know, Pete likes them. But then there's some players that I have checked out the video, and you know, a certain amp pedal, I'm just like, man, that sounds cool, and stuff. And then I bought that, ordered from, you know, Thomann Reverb, and I found that, man, this isn't for me. So always, it's very personal. The gear stuff, as you know, guitar players probably know. So please keep that in mind. But anyway, hopefully you found this again to be informative and interesting. Thanks for watching. If you like, thumbs up, please subscribe, so on. Check out couple of my affiliate links below from Boogie and Iridium, BluGuitar AMP1 Iridium. You know, that helps me a lot. And you know the drill. Anyway, all the best. See you next time. Bye.